So, some Catholics will say that the current organization of the Catholic Church is the way it always has been. Some that I've talked to will admit that in the first century, words like bishop and elder were pretty much the same office, but later on, there was a distinction. Now, I can't remember what TikTok Live I was in where we had that discussion, and one of my friends didn't believe me. So, let's see what Grok has to say about Catholic sources that admit that bishop and elder were the same office according to Pauline writings, like the New Testament. In the St. Joseph New Catholic edition of the Bible, there's a footnote in 1 Timothy 3:1 that reads this way. Bishop represents a Greek word meaning overseer, and presbyter another Greek word meaning elder. In St. Paul, bishop and presbyter seem to be used convertibly, and probably priests are here included under the term bishops. Catholic Answers, and not everyone's a fan of them, has a tract called What the Early Church Believed, Bishop, Priest, and Deacon. Quote, although the terms bishop, priest, and deacon were somewhat fluid in the apostolic age, by the beginning of the 2nd century they had achieved the fixed form in which they are used today to designate the three offices whose functions are clearly distinct in the New Testament. As a bonus, we have Jerome. I don't know the source of this. He says, therefore, a presbyter is the same as a bishop is, and before that, by instigation of the devil, emulations in respect to religion arose, and people began to say, I am of Paul, and I have Apollos, and I have Cephas. The churches were governed by the common council of the presbyters. The Catholic Encyclopedia often discusses the development of church hierarchy. While it defends the apostolic origins of the episcopate, it acknowledges that the New Testament does not always clearly distinguish between bishop and elder. Titus 1:5-7 and Acts 20:17-28 are evidence of this. And like the number of modern Catholic scholars and historians are too numerous to mention, Raymond E. Brown is one of them. He wrote a work called Priest and Bishop, Biblical Reflections. 1 Peter 5:1-4 is mentioned, where Peter identifies himself as a fellow elder. He urges the elders to shepherd, like pastor, the flock, which implies oversight, which would be the word for overseer, bishop. Of course, Ignatius is where in the 2nd century that there's a clear distinction between following a bishop, a singular bishop,